It's the culmination of a year's work, a strange mix of satisfaction seeing the crop gathered in and the deep exhaustion that comes with it. These structures define boundaries, preventing livestock movement, but they also provide valuable habitat for numerous.
These microscopic hairs serve multiple protective functions, including reducing water loss by creating a boundary.
These spectacular displays last only briefly, making them precious ephemeral phenomena.
Touching these ancient trunks creates a tangible connection to all who have tended them. The deep
Grafting is one of agriculture's most important techniques, allowing us to combine the best characteristics of different varieties.
The worn rungs and withered wood tell stories of countless harvest seasons and the many people who have climbed to gather fruit.
Sustainable orcharding works with nature, not against it, by encouraging beneficial insects and birds. Pruning saws are essential for orchard maintenance. They are specifically designed for cutting live wood in
challenges. This delicate structure is an engineering marvel. Stronger than steel by weight, the web is only made visible.
This traditional practice is seeing renewed interest as we understand system integration better. It's truly sustainable agriculture.
This transitional zone highlights how different crops require different expertise and management, enhancing both.
Here we see biological pest control in action. A single predatory insect like this lacewing larva.
The ancient art of espalier represents the intersection of horticulture and art. This technique originates. It's a truly spectacular display, this merging of autumn colour and crystalline frost.
The significance of dawn in agricultural life cannot be overstated. It represents both an ending.
These journals preserve knowledge, allowing us to compare current conditions with historical patterns.
These simple markers create a tangible connection to the orchardists who planted these specific trees.
Decades of pruning and regrowth have created these extraordinary forms. They stand as living sculpture.
Ultimately, planting these trees demonstrates a profound faith in the future, knowing that others will harvest what we plant today.
Isn't it remarkable how surface tension temporarily resists gravity? At the microscopic scale,
this small calyx structure tells the fruit's developmental story, revealing the apple's botanical origin.
These storms remind us of the vulnerability inherent in agriculture. Despite all human effort,
These storms are a mixed blessing. They bring much-needed moisture during the growing season.
These pruning shears and grafting knives are essential for tree maintenance.
These insects demonstrate remarkable complexity. Ant colonies function as superorganisms. For ancient cultures, these events were often feared, considered ominous. But today,
Kitchen gardens are all about self-sufficiency and connecting with the land. It's wonderful to see. It's absolutely fascinating watching the social structure at work. Look at the different pollen loads, yellows and oranges.
These linear habitats provide essential resources for numerous species, including nesting sites, food sources.
What looks like a simple eye is actually thousands of individual facets, creating a mosaic view and revealing
the way the light breaks through after the rain, creating this perfect spectrum. It's a universal sign of hope.
Baskets that have served for decades become familiar tools. The worn handles show the touch of many.
Grafting compounds are essential for success. They seal the graft union, preventing moisture loss from the.
Their continued productivity demonstrates remarkable resilience. Preserving these living monuments ensures both.
Organic mulching offers multiple benefits in orchard management. Thick layers suppress weeds, retain moisture, and
Ladybugs play a crucial role in orchard ecosystems. These voracious predators feast on aphids and other. What appear to be mere discolorations are in fact remarkable symbiotic organisms. Lichens are a part.
This brief period of peak color creates a special appreciation before winter arrives. These seasonal transformations.
The lighting creates unforgettable visuals. Farmers watch with mixed emotions, appreciating the rainfall.
It's grand to see these old skeps still in use. They represent generations of shared knowledge, connecting.
These orchard ladders are essential tools. The wear patterns show decades of use and
These channels represent generations of accumulated knowledge in Swiss agriculture.
The beauty after a heavy downpour is something else. This saturation is essential.
It's remarkable how these leaves collect the morning dew. Their form creates these natural cups.
Bud break is one of agriculture's most hopeful moments, signaling the end of winter dormancy and the beginning of a new growing season.
It's a beautiful sight, though rare for this region. The snow provides dramatic moisture for the spring.
These traditional skills represent horticultural wisdom refined over centuries. Maintaining these practices.
Observation and record keeping are the foundations of good orcharding. These simple tools allow us to collect.
Rainbows are symbols of hope and promise across cultures. They require specific conditions.
Frost forms when water vapor contacts surfaces below freezing, crystallizing directly into ice.
The stem is the lifeline connecting fruit to the tree. This small connection has transported all the water and.
These roots represent generations of use. Before mechanization, horses moved. Gravity-fed furrow irrigation utilizes the natural topography to distribute water without energy requirements.
Traditional basket makers truly understood material properties. The woven construction provides
Traditional tools, properly maintained, can serve for decades, becoming trusted implements in this essential. These conditions create extraordinary visual experiences, watching the progressive revelation of familiar landscapes as the mist evaporates.
The water molecules cling to the leaf, a perfect temporary equilibrium between surface tension and the inevitable pull of gravity. It's fascinating how water vapor bypasses the liquid phase, crystallizing directly onto the fruit.
This dry stone construction represents an enormous investment by previous generations, transforming steep hillsides into.
Following these ancient lines reveals how the land is organized. It's a connection to those who first marked this.
Cider production has been integral to apple-growing regions for centuries, providing a use for fruit not suitable for the fresh market.
Agricultural life provides countless opportunities to witness these displays. These moments.
Lenticels allow oxygen to reach the living cells within the fruit and carbon dioxide to escape. This
bark is a living archive, recording centuries of the tree's history. It protects the delicate tissues beneath.
As the clouds move, the light shifts dramatically across the landscape. It's a vivid.
What you're seeing is a 22-degree halo caused by sunlight refracting through hexagonal ice crystals high in the atmosphere.
Stomata are essential structures for plant life. These microscopic pores allow gas exchange.
This ecological approach uses wildflowers grown between the trees to attract beneficial insects, helping control pests naturally.
These delicate, dew-covered webs are more than just beautiful architecture. They are critical tools, helping to make
Hand-forged tools connect us to centuries of tradition. A blacksmith's skill shapes metal.
These conditions transform the landscape into something otherworldly. And it's how the fog provides moisture to the plants through condensation.
Virga is when precipitation forms in clouds and begins falling, but encounters dry air below, causing it to evaporate before reaching the ground.
Successful orcharding requires careful attention to tree development, particularly in the early years when proper structure is established.
Bees collect this bright pollen as protein food for their larvae. They groom it from their bodies using specialized
These shelter belts are essential protective features in orchard management, reducing wind speed and preventing damage to delicate foliage and branches.
It's remarkable how these baskets, woven with skill, pass down through generations.
Sustainable orchards encourage healthy bird populations by providing safe nesting habitats like this one.
As dormancy approaches, trees actively shed these leaves, first breaking down the chlorophyll and reabsorbing vital nutrients before letting go.
As fruit ripens, hormonal changes trigger the formation of a specialized abscission layer, allowing for this control. We see how capillary action allows water movement through microscopic channels. The waxy cuticle normally prevents.
The full moon has governed agricultural timing for millennia, inspiring mythology and art across all human cultures.
Integrated pest management minimizes synthetic pesticides by working with nature. Pheromone traps disrupt pests while benefiting.
It's fascinating how these traditional weather vanes combine folk art with practical function. They offer immediate.
Precipitation measurement is essential in orchard management. Knowing rainfall amounts allows for informed irrigation decisions.
Overnight temperature drops cause moisture in the air to condense on cool surfaces like fruit and leaves, creating this beautiful natural coating.
This moment is the culmination of a full year's work. Proper harvest timing ensures optimal quality. These traditional agricultural stone walls use fitted stones stacked without mortar in the dry stone technique.
This simple moment of a petal falling represents fundamental life cycle transitions. It signals that
this visual timeline shows decomposition at work. Fallen fruit becomes food for insects, fungi.
What we're seeing here is a spectacular temperature inversion. The cold, dense air settles in the valleys at night.
Ponds and small wetlands provide essential habitat for beneficial species, including amphibians, insects.
Reliable temperature monitoring is essential in orchard management, informing everything from frost protection to harvest timing and pest development.
Orb weaver spiders are fascinating predators. Their webs, stronger than steel by weight, help control pests like aphids and
The cycle of leaf production, function, and decay represents nature's fundamental nutrient cycles.
These linear habitats are vital. They provide windbreaks, define boundaries, and offer nesting sites.
Fungi are the essential decomposers in this ecosystem, breaking down dead wood and recycling vital nutrients back into the soil. Simple directional signs, though weathered by sun and wind over the years, remain essential for orientation.
Look at how the sunlight beams stream through the clouds. These crepuscular rays create this spectacular effect.
These flowing streams are the lifeblood of the orchard, supporting biodiversity and providing irrigation.
The physical traces here connect us to previous generations of orchardists, showing decades of successful variety improvement and adaptation.
The waxy cuticle layer protects the fruit, while tiny pores called lenticels allow it to breathe. The color
And so the first snow falls, marking that poignant shift. It's this beautiful intersection of
Careful harvesting and proper containers help maintain fruit quality, preventing bruising.
Rest spots like this bench provide a vital pause in the agricultural landscape.
Apples. It's a beautiful intersection of spiderweb engineering and ice crystal physics. The geometric web
What we're seeing is complex stratification. Multiple inversion layers, each trapping fog at different...
Birds like this robin are vital to orchard ecosystems, providing natural pest control and indicating overall environmental health.
These overlapping scales create a sophisticated insulating barrier, protecting the delicate tissues within from freezing temperatures.
Espalier training is where horticulture meets art and agricultural efficiency.
Protective netting is vital for contemporary orcharding. It prevents hail damage, moderates the sun, and excludes
Pollination ecology highlights the critical relationship between bees and fruit production. Bumblebees.
These simple markers ensure genetic identity is preserved, allowing specific variety characteristics.
Radiative cooling causes ground temperatures to drop below the dew point, creating the condensation we see as ground fog in these valleys.
Nacreous clouds are one of nature's most spectacular and rare optical phenomena, forming at extreme altitude where...
Explaining how cider production has been a way to preserve and utilize apple harvests for centuries, transforming fresh fruit into a stable product.
It's remarkable craftsmanship. The wear patterns show decades of service, moving countless loads. These traditional...
As the morning sun warms the leaf, we witness evaporation, a fundamental phase transition. This is radiative frost, forming when clear night skies allow heat to escape rapidly. While
the pre-sunrise period often creates the most spectacular sky colors. High clouds.
Split rail fences represent one of the oldest and most practical methods of defining boundaries and managing land use, particularly where timber is abundant.
Thick mulch layers suppress weeds by blocking light without requiring herbicides, and crucially, the mulch
Witnesses to generations, these ancient trees embody a profound sense of time.
Traditional fruit storage relied on thick stone walls and careful ventilation. This allowed apples to be kept fresh.
It's a spectacular display caused by hexagonal ice crystals high in the atmosphere, acting like prisms, refracting...
Ladybugs, also known as ladybirds or lady beetles, are important predators of aphids and other soft-bodied pests in orchard ecosystems.
The cambium acts as the growth engine, a single-cell thick layer of meristematic tissue capable of continuous division.
This approach supports biodiversity, offering habitat for pollinators and improving soil health.
Training these trees into flat forms against the wall maximizes space efficiency. It requires years of careful pruning.
Adequate rainfall or irrigation is essential for proper fruit sizing, flavor development, and overall tree.
Providing shelter supports beneficial species like solitary bees that pollinate our crops and predatory wasps that parasitize pests.
Entrance signs and wayfinding markers serve both practical functions in orienting visitors and...
Lenticular clouds are one of nature's most spectacular formations. Stable, moist air flowing over mountains creates standing waves.
This apple blossom honey represents the concentrated sweetness of thousands of flowers, connecting us to this specific place and season.
Galls are remarkable examples of plant-insect interactions. Gall-inducing insects manipulate plant biology.
Agricultural terracing uses traditional techniques to farm sloped land. Stone retaining walls create...
The wear on these rungs tells a story of countless climbs. Each ladder is placed systematically.
The beauty of the apple blossoms lasts only days or weeks before they fall. It marks the transitions. Wind direction affects numerous farming activities. Knowing the wind is crucial for things like spray timing.
These traditional orchard tools represent generations of refinement. Glories are one of the more unusual optical phenomena, requiring very specific conditions. Traditional farm transportation relied heavily on horse-drawn wagons, essential equipment for moving harvested fruit.
Regular pruning is essential for maintaining tree health, managing tree size and shape, promoting
Ice crystal nucleation and growth are fundamental phase transition processes. Water molecules arrange themselves into a hexagon.
This harvest equipment, the orchard ladder, has a specific design. The triangular cross-section and tape.
Radiation fog forms on clear, calm nights as the ground rapidly cools, chilling the air and causing moisture to condense at ground level.
The remarkable transformation from flower to fruit begins with pollination. Over several months,
in the quiet dawn, we find extraordinary beauty hidden in the ordinary. The web.
It's wonderful how these flowers provide early nectar and pollen, supporting vital pollinator populations.
Troughs, cisterns, and wells provided essential water for people, animals, and irrigation before.
The stigma is the entry point for sexual reproduction. The sticky surface captures pollen grains, which
This tiny dewdrop, held by surface tension, acts as a lens, revealing the physics of light refraction and
Rainbows are actually always complete circles centered on the antisolar point. We typically only see the arc unless elevated above the mist.
Fallen apples that are not harvested become important food resources for wildlife, including birds, mammals, insects, and decomposers.
this traditional windbreak technology protects these vulnerable young trees. The woven willow reduces wind speed naturally.
Apiculture, or beekeeping, is deeply intertwined with successful fruit production.
Witnessing this alpenglow creates profound appreciation for the interaction of landscape and light.
These traditional orchard ladders were carefully constructed from local ash or oak wood, designed to be both.
Butterflies are vital indicators of environmental health in orchards. They serve as key pollinators, particularly for the flowering ground cover.
This living ecosystem supports beneficial insects, provides natural mulch, retains soil moisture, and contributes.
This delicate structure relies on pollinators, primarily bees, for the critical process of cross-pollination.
Tree bark serves as both a protective layer and an ecological habitat. It shields.
It's all about the three-dimensional architecture, you see. We train and prune the branches to create an optimal
Autumn senescence and the biological processes that create fall color, explaining how decreasing day length and cooler temperatures trigger the breakdown of chlorophyll. The connection between the orchard and the village runs deep here in Hagenwil. It's this agricultural heritage that
The shift from autumn to winter triggers dormancy. Trees cease growth, reducing water content and
Traditional fencing and methods involve using durable local timber, naturally treated to resist rot, defining boundaries and protecting trees.
The journey from orchard fruit to fine cider begins here, with the crushing of the apples and the pressing of the pommes.
Harvest timing is critical. We look for signs like color, firmness, and sugar content to determine.
Water is essential for orchard health. Morning dew and rainfall provide the moisture needed for fruit development and tree health.
Wheelbarrows were essential equipment for moving harvested apples, their design balancing capacity with maneuverability.
Wrinkles. The life cycle of fruit is defined by constant change. This natural obsession is how the tree
The optical phenomena created by these water droplets are mesmerizing. Their spherical form acts as
Assessing the cider involves a visual examination, noting the color and clarity, followed by an aromatic evaluation.
The elegant simplicity of the screw press converts rotary motion into linear force, generating the pressure needed to extract juice from the apples.
There's a meditative quality to watching the water drip. It connects us to the larger natural cycles of the thaw.
Autumn cleanup is essential for winter dormancy. This guest book represents the human dimension of agricultural tourism. It documents the orchard's role.
Root cellars provided the cool, stable conditions necessary for preservation, allowing societies to maintain fruit supply.
Natural springs, emerging where groundwater reaches the surface, have shaped human settlement and The breaking of dormancy is triggered by lengthening days and warming temperatures, but only after the winter chilling requirements have been met. Traditional watering practices, like morning watering, allow foliage to dry naturally. These ceramic vessels.
Traditional sun drying utilizes direct sunlight for evaporation and antimicrobial effects.
Apple blossom time is the most critical period in the orchard year.
Here we see the horizontal cordon, the fan, the palmette, and the intricate Belgian fence patterns side by side.
Accurate variety identification is essential for orchard management. Permanent tree tags like this one create references.
As the bee probes for nectar, pollen adheres to its body hairs. This pollen will be deposited on the stigma of
Ornamental metalwork in agricultural settings often embellished functional structures, demonstrating craftsmanship and intentionally planting these ground layer species provides multiple benefits, including soil improvement, nitrogen.
Meals shared in the orchard during harvest represent important social and cultural practices that bring workers together and provide necessary sustenance.
As evening falls, radiative cooling causes the air to rapidly cool below the dew point.
Agricultural branding and the importance of origin identification. Branded packaging creates product difference.
Baskets woven from locally available materials, including willow, reed, and oak strips, were essential for the harvest.
These stamps are wonderful examples of agricultural folk art. Functional objects like the evolution of these bottles tells the story of cider production. From thick glass designed to withstand.
Drying represents one of the oldest preservation techniques, removing water to create shelf-stable products.
Within orchard ecosystems, features like tree hollows and water-filled depressions create vital microhabitats.
On clear, calm nights, radiative cooling causes surface temperatures to drop below freezing, even when the air temperature remains slightly higher.
Gates are both practical and symbolic elements in agricultural landscapes, providing controlled access, while these paths provide all-weather access while integrating plantings that soften the edges and offer sensory interest.
Nature's geometry is revealed in these perfect spheres of water, held by surface tension on the silk.
Grafting allows us to join scion wood onto rootstock for precise genetic replication. This storage system harvest equipment and techniques. Specialized tools and containers have been developed over centuries.
As the afternoon sun warms the air, the melting accelerates. Light passing through the...
These traditional hand tools are essential for orchard management. From grafting knives that join rootstock and scion...
Secondary fermentation in these sealed vessels creates the carbonation we look for. It's how the flavors truly mellow and develop complexity. Surface water distribution through channels like this has been used for thousands of years, demonstrating sophisticated gravity flow water management.
Organized storage protects these valuable implements from damage and allows quick location when needed.
Caterpillars represent the growth stage of butterflies and moths. Their consumption provides the energy for metamorphosis.
Precipitation measurement is essential for orchard management decisions, including irrigation scheduling, disease risk assessment, and general growing condition evaluation.
Wasters. Honeybee colonies require substantial water for cooling in the hive through evaporation, diluting honey for feeding larvae.
Weather vanes provide an immediate visual indication of wind direction, helping farmers assess weather patterns and anticipate changes.
Food preservation traditions allowed historical communities to enjoy the orchard bounty year-round,
Protecting young orchard trees is essential. They face numerous threats, from rodent damage and winter sun. Apple grinders like this one represent the first stage of processing, transforming whole fruit into crushed pomace for efficient juice extraction.
Individual wrapping protects against bruising, slows moisture loss, prevents disease spread, and extends storage.
Traditional cider production relied on wild yeasts naturally present on apple skins and in the cellar environment to initiate spontaneous fermentation.
Farm-to-table dining is about celebrating local agriculture, creating a direct connection between the landscape and your plate.
Frost flowers require specific meteorological and botanical conditions. These rare ice structures demonstrate.
These traditional Japanese water features transform rainwater drainage into aesthetic experiences through visible water flow and musical sounds.
Historical observations provide a baseline for understanding climate change impacts, documenting the accumulated experience of generations who worked this land. Turtle making is a traditional woodland craft that has served agriculture for thousands of years, providing sustainable fencing using local materials.
Passers. Lichens are symbiotic organisms, composed of fungi and algae living in a mutualistic relationship.
Traditional wells were essential agricultural infrastructure. Hand-dug wells accessing groundwater provided reliable water sources before modern plumbing.
The invention of heat processing canning revolutionized how families preserved the harvest. The toad demonstrates patient ambush predator behavior, waiting motionless for prey to come within striking range before.
Surface tension, the molecular cohesion that minimizes surface area, creates the spherical form. Attachment to the.
These intensive fruit tree systems, like espaliers, originated in European walled gardens, where
Cold frames are season extension technology. These simple structures create warmer microclimates.
This remarkable architecture allows bees to create incredibly efficient storage structures.
Orchard signs like this one.
Hedge laying is a traditional countryside skill that maintains hedgerows as functional stock-proof boundaries.
As the crushed pomace is transferred to the press baskets, we apply gradual pressure to extract the juice effectively from the fruit solids.
Unlike modern frame hives, which allow inspection without destruction, these skeps often required the colony to be killed to harvest the honey. Fruit storage management and the techniques that allow fresh apples to be available for months after harvest.
Here at Hagenwill, we focus on making pruning education accessible. Demonstration areas like this allow.
The contrast is striking. the delicate, ephemeral beauty of the petal against the rough, enduring.
Specialized tools like this fruit picker allow harvesting high fruit safely without climbing, balancing efficiency.
Selling directly to consumers eliminates the middleman, allowing us to capture more value per unit and build lasting customer relationships.
Here in the orchard understory, wild strawberries support pollinator populations through their flowers and contribute significantly to the ecosystem's function.
Wheelbarrows are essential agricultural equipment. The simple design of a single wheel and two handles creates remarkable.
Ecological sanitation systems like this one separate solid and liquid waste.
Farming creates not only food, but also beauty. Attention to these visual qualities enriches both the agricultural work.
Baskets woven from locally grown willow have served agriculture for millennia. Their flexibility
The development of spray technology in the late 19th century transformed fruit production. This vintage.
These traditional skeps represent the long human relationship with bees, evolving significantly with the invention